Hey everybody, this is Old School Heart back with another video for you guys. This one on a sour note. I'm here to send condolences and just send my deep felt sympathy to Nipsey Hussle and his family. If you guys are not aware, Nipsey Hussle was shot and killed in front of his store in LA yesterday, in front of his children, I believe, as well. And so yesterday and today has been quite a shock to me and to our community as a whole. Now, if you're not familiar with Nipsey Hussle, he is an up-and-coming rap artist, as well as a philanthropist, a filmmaker, a philosopher. We're finding out that this very young man was just a brilliant mind, and of course, he is most definitely gone too soon. And so if you're not familiar with Nipsey, let me tell you how I am. I became familiar with Nipsey because if you know me, you know that I love black movies. I will give any black movie a try, like even if it's horrible. For some odd reason, I need to watch it, especially if it's a love movie. And so, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Love Chronicles, but the first one, Love Chronicles, I believe had Vivica Fox in it. And a couple of other people were in it. Terrence Howard was in the first one. And so it went pretty well. And so they made the second part of Love Chronicles. And Nipsey actually was in that and played a love interest to a young girl. And so crazy. I bought Love Chronicles 1 and 2. It was stolen from me when my apartment was broken into, but I loved them. And so I've known about Nipsey since like 2001. I thought he was a really cute dude. He kind of reminded me of Snoop Dogg, but he was way cuter. And I just kind of liked his personality. Now, I knew he was an artist, but I wasn't really familiar with the mixtapes that he had come out with. But what I've been hearing is that Nipsey had some mixtapes that were very widely acclaimed, especially in our neighborhoods, in our areas, especially out there on the west side. And so Nipsey was most definitely banging to a lot of people. Now, for me, the music became real to me, I would say, early last year, when he was giving you little bits and pieces of Victory Lap. And when he made the video for Double Up with Lauren London, that's when I paid a lot of attention. I saw a little snippet of it on the Shade Room or something, and I was like, this song is kind of hot. Like, I like it. So I downloaded the album and I just started listening, and I just loved Victory Lap. I loved it. I even wrote one line like, y'all need to be listening to that. I mean, I even filmed myself in a car acting like I'm some type of little thug girl, listening to it, whatever. These are jokes, listening to it, whatever. So I really liked Victory Lap. And I loved his flow on Double Up. Like, I loved his flow on Double Up. And I mean, I can recite every line of it, but I thought the album was a masterpiece. It was a complete album. It wasn't bits and pieces. It flowed through, and I'm really big on how a story flows through an album. I don't believe you should just have song after song after song and it not be cohesive and make sense. Victory Lap made a lot of sense, and so I love this album, and I actually recommended it to a lot of people. And when he was stifled at the Grammys, I even wrote, I was like, I'm sorry, I love Cardi B, but Cardi B's album wasn't better than Victory Lap. I made that very clear, and a lot of people did not agree with that, but I said, for me personally, Victory Lap was a way better album than Cardi's album. And not to mention, when you write your own stuff and you produce your own stuff, and the way that he did his videos, I just thought altogether Victory Lap was better. So this was like a complete shock to me, a complete shock. And I'm really saddened because, you know, when you have somebody who is like a Nipsey, you want to keep him, you want to hear more. And I just knew that he had just so much potential. And the one thing that I was thinking about in this is, you know, everybody is really upset and everybody is really mourning this loss, and it's appropriate to mourn the loss of potential, to mourn the loss of somebody that had great influence. And it's okay to mourn somebody that could have done so much if given the life that he did. And that's the one thing that I want to bring to this. Nothing more, nothing less, other than, you know, we should mourn the potential. We should celebrate it as well. And the crazy thing, guys, that I want to tell you is Friday, I always listen to stuff at work to make the workday go pretty quickly. Friday, I was really anxious to go back home. I live in Chicago. I live about 5 hours away from Chicago. I was really anxious to go back home. And so I needed to make the workday go by pretty quickly. And for some odd reason, in my news feed pops an interview of Nipsey Hussle's. And so I'm like, you know what? I have time to listen to it. I listened to everything else. So I ended up listening to an interview that Nipsey Hussle did with Lauren London. And that was Friday. Saturday, I was in the car with my sister, and I had on Double Up, and I was rapping it and stuff like that, and I was just saying how I appreciate him and just how he looks good, you know, and I'm just giving him his praises. And my sister was like, I don't even, you know, mess with him like that, but whatever, you can listen to whatever you want to listen to. You can only imagine. This was like an eye-opener to me. I was like, what is going on? I did not, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And so now we're dealing with the aftermath of his murder. The cops are investigating, but we have a suspicion in the Black community that it may have resulted from the documentary he was doing on Dr. Sebi. And if you know anything about me in this channel, you already know that I've been doing a lot of Dr. Sebi things. There are some fruits that I don't touch because Dr. Sebi says so. And so we know that Nipsey was working on that. And so a lot of people are saying that this death is a result of the documentary that he was going to do and how he was going to expose the government killing Dr. Sebi and Dr. Sebi healing people of certain diseases that the United States government is accused of giving and diagnosing people with, or giving people this disease. And so there's a lot of speculation right now, but we do not know the truth. We just know that we lost a wonderful person. And it looks like he was coming into an age of enlightenment, that he was growing spiritually. And I don't mean in Christianity, but I just mean in knowing self and understanding self and self-potential and self-influence, and really understanding the impact of self and what it means to the community and what it can mean for the community, which is why he was buying properties, which is why he was coming out with these documentaries. And so just like any other influencer, you know, we once again have lost somebody who hadn't even reached their highest potential. But I will say this, he gave us enough to live off of. In that short amount of time, Nipsey Hussle, if you look at everything that everybody is saying, has influenced a lot of people, myself included. And we're close in age, so I understand exactly where he's at and where he was at in his enlightenment, how he was growing as a father, how he was growing as a boyfriend, how he was growing in influence and popularity. They were also saying was that Nipsey may have been involved in something gang related. I'm not too sure that is very true as well, but I will say this. He may have had some dealings. Yeah, he may have had some dealings in the past that were not right, and some things that he did that was not right. But the one thing that I can say about somebody who is responsible and somebody who takes charge of their life, they realize that if they just meet their potential, if they start to do what they're destined to do, then they'll leave those type of things behind. I think that's where Nipsey was at, where he just was able to leave certain things behind that no longer benefited him and no longer was an influence to the community. And so I'm proud of Nipsey. I'm happy that he was a cultural influence, that he had such an impact with only one studio album out. It's just amazing, and very, very sad to see him go. But we have enough, we know enough about him, we have enough about him to let his legacy continue. I heard that there is talks of somebody finishing up the documentary he started, and so I'm anticipating that documentary. You guys know I loved me some Dr. Sebi. I still practice a lot of Dr. Sebi things. Even though you see this weight is quite different, she's still practicing what she learned from Dr. Sebi. And so rest and power to our brother, to our king, Nipsey Hussle. Let me know if you know of any experiences that you've had, or any concerts that you've been to, or anything that you have to say about Nipsey. Leave it here. Let's all celebrate this young warrior, this young king together. This is Old School Heart. Have a good day.